Oh, you still don't think that we're living in the end of days? You still don't think that our days are numbered here on Earth? The Earth is literally grieving right now. It's telling you that we are in the end days. In Alaska right now, they are telling their residents to be ready to evacuate, to stock up on food and water, because the largest volcano is about to erupt any day now. Oh, how about off the coast of California right now? Seismologists are studying the largest, or one of the largest volcanoes underwater. It's about to explode. And when it does, they're saying it's going to trigger 10,000 or more earthquakes in a single day. Oh, and I know you just saw the volcano just yesterday in Europe explode. It shot plume 4 miles into the air. You keep thinking we're not in the end days.
So I just want to show you this video that to prove that you are all being played right now. Back in September 2023 on a Joe Rogan Fight Compilation podcast, Sam Tripoli said that what you're seeing now was going to happen back then. He called it 2 years ago. We are all being played.
The intelligence, and they go, this gay pride stuff is going away. And the next thing you're going to see are immigration riots. This is going to be right around the next election. So, hand to God, we do this episode. Next day, Starbucks is like, we're banning all the pride stuff. And now you start seeing these they're putting little breadcrumbs out, man. Little breadcrumbs. Oh, I saw this one thing in Chicago. Oh, yeah, illegal immigrants are upset about where they're staying. And these illegal immigrants who speak no English are holding up perfectly written English signs saying we're tired of how we're being treated. And now you're starting to see this over and over again. Eric, so everyone's always like, when all these Republican governors are like sending these immigrants all over the country, everyone's like, yeah, you're showing those Democrats. Bro, they're moving assets. I know it sounds crazy, but that is 100
What do you mean they're moving assets? What do you mean?
Dude, these guys coming into the country, bro, have you seen them? A lot of them are Chinese, and a lot of them are military-age people. Too. And I'm telling you, they're moving, and this is what's going to be right around 2024 election. Immigration riots, people going nuts, and it as listen to this, and you'll start seeing all the little breadcrumbs being put out.
May I give you
the Bolshevik War? It is happening in real time, 100%.
But
I just wanted to get that out to everybody because I'm trying to warn people. This is what's next.
We are living in some crazy ass times right now. So there are protests going on now in my state. In Connecticut, people are protesting ICE, and I guess this is like a national movement now. People are out there protesting due to the way ICE is handling these deportations. Very distasteful, very aggressive, very sneaky. And it's a national thing. What I will say is this. And I commented this on the news article that came out in Connecticut. You know, they're posting on the news. These protests are going on everywhere. What I will say is this. We are living in a time where the government is doing 100 miles per hour with no guardrails. There are no politicians on either side that is willing to stand up to Trump and come together collectively to stop his antics. There are no federal judges who have the most power that are stepping in and, you know, stopping this man from wilding. Kamala said that this man was going to do everything that he did. She said he was going to go on a revenge tour.
Yeah, we're going to stop it right there. She going off. Shalom. First and foremost, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone who do rule and teach well. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, peace and blessings as always to you sincere, Akim and Akwath out there listening and learning, keeping the faith and diligence of our Lord Yahweh Shai, occupying the prophecies and faith until all is fulfilled and Lord will, we are redeemed. So back in the the spirit, with another lesson. All right. Prophetic times, man. Very dangerous times, as it says in the book of 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, that in the last days, perilous times shall come, going into dangerous. Okay, so we've been seeing over the past few days, just went into a lesson yesterday that pretty much all these so-called ICE protests that you see happening now starting to pick up nationwide, but it was at first relegated to LA County. Now you're starting to see these same protests pop up in Connecticut, New York, Texas. You know what I'm saying? These things are starting to pop up all over the place. And the lesson I went into yesterday through the spirit, there was a video with this one Edomite where he said that June 14th is going to be the day where, pretty much these protests explode. All right. You're going to see George Floyd 2020 style protests all over the country, man. All right. And we know, all right, as we went into yesterday, that these are set up, that these are nothing more than agents out there. Okay. You have a lot of agent provocateurs. Esau, he's placing bricks around. He's doing a lot of very crafty, underhanded things to spin the narrative that, we need to bring order to this situation when he's the one that has orchestrated the chaos. Okay. This is the Hegelian dialectic, pressure from above and pressure from beneath. Okay, the squeeze is being put on the people, and a lot of people's mental health in this time is taking a severe dip. Because, see, you have worsening economic conditions. You have the threat of World War III. All right, you have these T attacks going on all over the place. You have earthquakes, extreme weather. You know what I'm saying? You have these protests going on, seditions, okay? So all these things combined, you know what I'm saying? If you're not in the truth, if you're not in the know, these things are going to take a major toll on your mental health. And this is where a lot of people find themselves in this time, pretty much crashing out, not knowing what to do, not knowing who to trust, you know what I'm saying? The best thing they can do that they know is to ignore what's going on. But we're in the times to where you're not going to be able to ignore these things for much longer, because very soon it's going to be in your neck of the woods. All right. So you're going to have to be faced with this and deal with it. And ultimately, if you ain't got the faith to stand firm in these times through the spirit, then you're going to fold to what this devil Esau Edom is bringing to the table. All right. So right here, nationwide day of defiance set to sweep across the U.S. on June the 14th. On June 14, 25, a wave of protests under the banner "No Kings" is set to sweep across the United States, organized as a direct response to a military parade planned by the Trump administration in Washington, D.C. The date coincides with Flag Day, the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, and President Donald Trump's 79th birthday. Goddamn, he old as hell. Amplifying the symbolic weight of the event. All right. And you have to keep in mind, these things are set up. Okay. The same thing you saw with George Floyd in 2020, to where, them protests exploded all over the place. Now, did you have some sincere people that were out there? Yeah, sure. But overall, these events have been set up to hijack the narrative. Okay. Because Esau, he's going to use this. All right. To crack down on the men of the Lord and get brothers off the streets. Okay, bring in heavier surveillance on the internet. All right, this is going to be used to bring in a digital ID. Okay, this is where all these things are going. This is why, this devil is planning these things out. And we know who's behind this: George Soros, Gates, all right, Bezos, names such as that. Really, it's the elites of Edom that have funded these things, and we're going to get into it to where, matter of fact, let's just go to it. All right, check this out. Because these things are funded, man, set up. All right. Mystery donor seen supplying wartime face shields for demonstrators. So you have these so-called protesters out there, okay? And you have these strange individuals going around giving people military equipment, right? We already seen that they setting up bricks in very strategic locations. So what's going on here? All right. And no doubt you have a lot of sleeper cells that are involved in these events. Okay. If these events were not set up by the sleeper cells themselves. All right. They just taking orders, man. But this is what you have going on in the midst of these protests. In a puzzling development during a recent LA protest, demonstrators were seen receiving unexpected equipment, riot gear that appeared to be distributed by unknown individuals. And see, this right here is going to be a cause for Esau to come down with great wrath, because now that these protesters are armed, right, he's going to say, well, now we have the green light to go in and do what we really want to do, which is mass incarcerate, okay, to destroy people, man. So Esau is very, very crafty, man, okay? Reading on, it says, the incident, which took place amid escalating tensions during a demonstration over policing and civil rights, has triggered a wave of speculation and concern from community leaders, legal experts, and city officials. According to Newsweek, multiple eyewitnesses reported that individuals not affiliated with law enforcement or any known activist organizations, see that? So they're not police, all right, and they're not a part of these protests going on, but they out here handing out items typically associated with riot preparedness. This includes shields, helmets, and protective pads, gear usually used by police or seasoned protest groups. However, the origins of this gear, as well as the identities of the distributors, remain unknown. Okay, so Esau is clearly in the midst of all of this, all right? These events have been hijacked, man. Okay, they may have started out as something organic to, protests out there in LA, but now Esau, he's taking control of the narrative, and now he's pretty much controlling what's going on, okay, with his agent provocateurs. All right, this here as well. Trump warns any potential protesters at his military parade will be met with very big force. Okay, so we see that this devil, he's speaking as a dragon. Okay, well, let's get a scripture. Let's go to Psalms 37. Okay, because King David said, all right, preserve me from the violent man. All right, Psalms 37 in verse 7, it says, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Now, who is this man that has the power, the authority to bring wicked devices to pass? Who has authority and control over the earth? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Esau, he's the one forwarding this push for global AI governance. Okay, he's the one forwarding, all of these chaotic events that's happening across the globe, man. It's all orchestrated by him. Okay, he is the man who bring these wicked devices to pass. Now, these are the result of the secret council of the wicked, to where they sit up all night in these think tanks and they cunningly devise ways and scenarios and say, okay, well, if they figure this out, then we gonna hit them with this. Or if they figure that out, then we gonna hit them like this. That's how Esau do. Esau goes over every possible scenario, every possible event that can go wrong, and he has a counter to it. Okay, listen, man, Esau ain't playing checkers. This devil's playing chess on the left-hand side, which we know is ultimately the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that's controlling him. But nonetheless, this all plays out for prophecy. Okay? But yeah, this is the result of Esau's think tanks. Okay? He has massive teams to where he devises these type of iniquities. And the scriptures say that the heart is deep. All right? That he accomplished a diligent search. You see what I'm saying? So this is what this devil does day in and day night. It's like day in and day out, man. Just devise iniquity continuously. All right? The scriptures even say that these devils lose sleep unless they cause some to fall. All right? You get that? Cause some to fall. Proverbs 4:16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. Yeah, and that's these Edomites, man. 17, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Okay, so wickedness and violence is Esau's food. Okay, this is what he needs to sustain his life. All right, to hell with you know, bread and water. Esau is just fine. Okay, living off of wickedness and violence. Okay, hey, this is the thief that Yahweh Shah spoke of, that what cometh not before to steal, to kill, and to destroy. All right, this so-called white man. All right. Proverbs 4:19, the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. Okay, and ultimately all this evil that Esau is doing, it seems to be prospering right now, as we read in Psalms 34. But at the end, it's all going to come to naught. Okay, he's going to be the one that's going to be inside the trick bag. You know what I'm saying? Because, Esau truly believes that he's going to win, that he's going to one up the Most High, that he's going to get rid of the Israelites. But it ain't going to happen because it ain't prophecy, man. Okay, let's go to Romans. Matter of fact, no, let's go to Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, and this is referring to the whore Babylon the Great America, man. Okay, two horns like a lamb. You know, they're bipartisan government system, Democrat, Republican, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, just as Trump, he was speaking to you real sweet, real soft. We're gonna bring the jobs back. We're gonna MAGA, make America great again. We're gonna put more money in the pockets of the American people. All right. He was talking all this good stuff, right? But look at what's going on now. Now this dude is saying that if anybody tries to interfere with this parade that he's going to hold, they're going to use brute force. Okay, basically. Verse 12, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, which was the Roman Empire, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, referring to the Western Roman Empire. Okay, so this man is, this whore, all right, is speaking as a dragon, man. Donald Trump is out here making threats, and Biden was threatening you too, man. All right, what did Biden say? He said, I believe he said to take that serpent venom or else. Okay, whatever that meant. All right, but he made that statement, man. He said, yeah, you better take that serpent venom or else. All right, so these devils have been threatening you for a long time, man, and it's really a marvel that people haven't risen up by this point. Okay, because what you see going on, you know what I mean, like there are people angry and stuff like that, but this is really Esau's move on the people. You see what I'm saying? Because organically, these people are not going to rise up because they feel as though they still have something to lose. You know what I'm saying? They can still eat. They can still go to work. They can still travel. You know what I mean? They're still under the law, so to speak. So these people are all good. All right. But Esau, he has to take away the food. He has to take away the jobs. He has to take away your housing and your ability to live a comfortable life for these people to rise up. So now he's pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? He's forcing the hand of the American people to where they're going to have no other choice but to jump into civil war. Okay? So President Donald Trump recently made headlines with a statement warning potential protesters at a proposed military parade, declaring they would, quote, be met with very big force. The comment reported by Fox News. But to really understand the implications of what he's saying, right? He said, if you oppose what we're doing, okay, which if the people don't, if they don't approve of what the leaders are doing, then they're allowed to protest, right? But he's saying that it ain't going to be no protests. It ain't going to be no protest. Either you're going to be with it or we're going to put you down. This is the point where we're at now. See, very soon you won't be able to speak out against Esau. You won't be able to be on the streets and you know, cuss this devil out, because he's going to come down on you with great force. This is basically what he's saying, man. All right. Anybody that opposes us, if you ain't with us, then you against us. Okay. And this is how they're going to force people to get in line with the NWO. It's going to be by brute force, violence. Okay. The comment reported by Fox News has sparked widespread discussion about free speech, which very soon there is going to be no free speech, man. All right. You ain't going to be able to just say what you want to say and freely speak. Again, this is why the whole digital ID and the AI and the surveillance cameras, all this stuff is now coming into play. Because just like it is in China, the Chinese, they can't speak out against the government. And if they do, then their social credit score, you know, gets tanked. You know what I'm saying? Their neighbor will tell on them. All right. And they lose you know, certain perks in society and benefits. They can't go to good schools. They can't get a good job. All right. So there's a consequence for speaking out against the establishment, man, which is what Esau is looking to do. Meaning that your constitutional rights, okay, which really Jake has no constitutional rights, but for these Edomites, right, that's about to go out the window. All right. Esau about to have his way with these Babylonians. There ain't going to be nothing that they can do about it. And you already see these coming down with the military. So that should tell you everything that you need to know about where this devil is trying to go. All right, where he is going, as a matter of fact. Trump's comments came amid discussions about a potential military parade, an idea he has floated in the past. And this man is parading, you see? But this is how you know that this is the Edomite, man. Okay? This is how you know that this is Esau, because he's going to put on a military parade. So he's going to parade his sword. All right. So basically what he's going to do is he's declaring himself a military dictator, man. All right. Okay. That's what's going on here. He's going to declare himself a military dictator. And once again, anybody that bucks up against it, you're going to be put down. All right. But this is this man's blessing, going back to the sword, that he would live by the sword, man. Okay. That's Esau. According to Fox News, Trump emphasized the need for order, right? Order ab chaos, create the chaos, you bring the order, suggesting that any attempts to disrupt the event would face significant resistance from law enforcement or military personnel. The phrase very big force has drawn particular attention for its strong tone, raising questions about how such a response would be implemented and whether it aligns with democratic principles. And see, these people, two-thirds of Jake and these common, you know, bird brain Babylonians, they have no idea what's coming down the pipe, man. They have no idea how real that it's about to get in the field. And this devil, as we just read, man, Revelation 13, he's speaking as a dragon, all right? He's breathing fire on your ass, and the heat is turning up, okay? And it says in 2nd Ezra 16 and 71, 72, that whether they shall go about as madmen, sparing none. So Esau, he's going to come in like a flood, man. All right. And he's going to seek to, I mean, really the main target are you Israelites. All right. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're the main target. But all these other heathen that are going to get in the way of that, they're going to be collateral damage, okay, which Esau don't give a damn, okay, because he has a depopulation agenda anyway to knock off majority of the Earth's population by this year. And this is why he's talking about new variants of diseases coming about. You see what I'm saying? STDs that are now running rampant, the food supply, you know what I'm saying? E. coli and salmonella and all this other stuff, the sword coming down, nuclear war. All these things that are happening simultaneously, it's all to bring mass death upon the earth, okay? We can get 2nd Ezra 5. 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, right? 2nd Ezra 5 and 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. But iniquity, which is sin upon sin, shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. Okay, so we're in a time of great iniquity, great death coming upon the earth, man. All right. And speaking of that, when you go here, right, check this out. Russia, Russia announces that it will help construct 8 nuclear power plants in Iran. So simultaneously, while this devil is setting up chaos right here in America overseas, this is about to be the next thing that's about to explode, man. Okay, this is about to lead to Revelation 16 and 12. Okay, where it says that the kings of the east are going to move their armies across the Euphrates River to do battle in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right, since I mentioned it, we can get it. Revelation 16. Because see, this is why paying attention to prophecy is very important in these times, man, because we already have the rundown on what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? We already have the playbook. So nothing should surprise us about what's going on. Revelation 16 and 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up. And you can Google this. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to really, disrupt the spirit. But hey, you can just Google it. There's many articles out there that the Euphrates River is dry. Okay. So this prophecy right here is getting ready to be fulfilled, man. And the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Who are the kings of the east? Russia, China, North Korea, Japan, Iran, Afghanistan, all right, India, you know what I'm saying? These Eastern kings are going to formulate together, and they're going to move against the West. They're going to move against the beast system, against the whore, all right? So this is where we at. Aki and Wa'akwab. This is very, very serious, man. Okay, and Russia has made it a public announcement, which, if they've came out and said it, no doubt they've been doing it already. All right, they've already started construction on these things. All right, but they announced that it will help construct 8 nuclear power plants in Iran. And recently, Trump has been coming out pretty much trying to tell Iran, like, look, either you're going to disband your nuclear program or else. Okay, and Iran has pretty much came out and said, to hell with you, to hell with Trump. You have no business in telling us what we're going to do in our own nation. If you can have nukes, then we can have them too. Do what you got to do. That's pretty much the sentiment that Iran has came out with, and that pursues back to the 3rd chapter, where it says, let the weak say I'm strong. You would have never heard that kind of rhetoric come out of Iran or any other nation beneath America 20, 30 years ago. They would never dare even come with that type of energy because they know that America would move on them. But we in a different time now where the Lord has put a spirit on these nations to rise up against Esau, all right? To not give a damn about his threats anymore. Because really these other nations now look at America, really look at, the beast as a failing power. Okay, now they have confidence in the BRICS, which is now coming up, all right? But they're all deceived because none of these heathen nations are going to take rule over the earth, man. It's going to be the people who they least expect that's going to have next to rule and put their ass in subjugation. Iranian state media, IRNA, announced a significant development in Iran-Russia relations. Russia has agreed to construct 8 nuclear power plants in Iran, with 4 slated for the southern city of Bushehr. The ambitious project, as confirmed by Mohammad Eslami, president of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, marks a pivotal step in Iran's plan to triple its nuclear energy capacity and strengthen its energy infrastructure. The announcement, reported by the Jerusalem Post and other outlets, underscores the deepening strategic partnership between Tehran and Moscow amid ongoing geopolitical tensions. Let's get this video real quick. Come on, man. There we go.
Our top focus on Beyond right now. Russia has signed an agreement to construct 8 nuclear power plants in Iran under a previously signed contract between the two countries. The announcement was made by the president of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization, Mohammad Eslami, in Tehran. According to Eslami, 4 of the 8 planned nuclear reactors would be constructed in the southern province of Bushehr. Islami added that Iran plans to triple its nuclear power generation capacity as a part.
So you hear that? So Iran is planning to triple. So whatever they doing now, they about to amp up the production. And why is this? Because the threat of war, they're ready. Okay? Iran ain't playing around, man. They like, look, the whore want to make threats and they want to do this and do that. All right, cool. We going to be ready by the time they come. So now they're tripling the production of weapons grade uranium. And very soon, if they don't already have nukes that have been supplied to them by Russia, then they're going to have them ready. They're going to have them on standby for when the inevitable happens. And if you don't believe that these nukes are going to start flying, you got another thing coming, man, because it's biblical prophecy that the nukes are going to fly throughout the earth. Okay, that's going to be that lake of fire, man.
Part of the country's broader energy development strategy. Further, Islami stated that the ongoing construction of units 2 and 3 at the existing Bushehr nuclear power plant are being built by the Iranian companies. Completed by Russia in 2011, the Bushehr nuclear power plant is Iran's first and only operational nuclear power facility and is considered central to Iran's civilian nuclear energy program.
And see, one thing about the heathen, they have nukes. All right, they developed nuclear weapons to protect against Esau. Okay, you don't see China. You don't see China and Iran going around telling nations that they better do X, Y, Z or they gonna get nuked. No, they really have these nukes as a defensive posture. See, Esau, he's on the offense. Okay, Esau, he's looking to bomb anybody that bucks up against his authority, man. Okay, because Esau has it in his mind that this is his rulership, so therefore all nations got to answer to him. But again, we're in a different time. Okay, the Lord put a spirit of rebellion on these other heathen nations to come up against the Edomite, man. Because quite frankly, they're tired of him. The whole world is tired of him, man. And this is why new rulership is going to have to be set up on the earth that is profitable to life. Okay, because you look at what Esau's doing. His rule, which is very unprofitable, is not forwarding life on the earth. As a matter of fact, you see the exact opposite. All right. So these nations, they have their arsenal on standby as defense for what Esau eventually wants to do. That's the only reason why Esau ain't let them things fly yet. And of course, we're still waiting on the MOTB to come to pass, but that's right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? That's like any day now. All right. So, that's really the only reason why Esau hasn't let them things fly, because of the threat of retaliation. All right. So this is why he's been so heavy on Iran, telling them to stop their nuclear program. And Iran basically told him to kick rocks. Okay. Because if Iran has nukes and they backed by Russia, America can't bully Iran. All right. The small hats can't bully Iran. Okay. Because really America is the military arm of the small hats. You know what I'm saying? But that's another lesson for another time.
This comes amidst ongoing nuclear talks between Iran and the US, where Tehran's enrichment of uranium has emerged as a major point of contention. While Iran has maintained that it needs to enrich uranium for peaceful purposes such as energy independence, the US has termed continued enrichment as totally unacceptable.
Well, yeah, there you have it. Very, dangerous times. All right. Oh, I forgot. Did I bring this? Yeah, Soros-backed operatives caught delivering truckloads of bionic shields to professional rioters. Okay, which these rioters out here, these are agent provocateurs, man. So they're getting equipment. All right, so, we see what's going on with this. So for you Akim Wa'akwat out there, be very vigilant on June the 14th, because things about to start going down, man. This is about to be a very chaotic, hot summer, you know what I'm saying, proverbially speaking. You know what I'm saying? So let's close out in Romans 13 and 11, right? Because, our salvation is nearer than what we believe, man. It's very, very close. We see these prophecies going down like clockwork. Romans 13 and 11, and then knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. All right. So, hey, our salvation is nearer than when we believe. And it is high time to awake out of sleep. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash. Call Haloim Lai, Yahweh, Bashim Shai, Bashim Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect, Kom Yashala, Wa Baba Bo.